Welcome. And how is everyone this evening? Mike will be with me in probably a couple of minutes. So, tonight, what we're going to be talking about is things that we found a lot of fun in the 70s. That was just one of the eras where we grew up, where we were young. Not too many people remember the 1970s. Um, One of the things is toys, some of the interesting toys that we had, some of the interesting sayings that we had. Um, what else do I remember about the 70s? Some of the activities we used to do, it's not quite the same, um, like how young people do things nowadays. Um, at the time in the 70s, I was really young. So that would be between the ages of, yeah, say 5 to 12 years old. And we we just had a lot more independence than a lot of children for today. I don't know. My husband has disappeared, but he'll be back in a second. So we always talk about a lot about the 1970s. Are there things that you find interesting about the 1970s? Are there things that you remember from your childhood or you've seen on television? Oh,
Well,
hello, Zoanne.
hello there.
Yes, you'll hear about some cool things from the 70s. Um, we've got a few items that, okay, this is my husband, Mickey, and I'm Pamela.
Hello, all.
And yes, there are, I was just telling them, like, we were a lot more independent as children that were growing up at that time in the 70s. Like, you,
Yep, we hung around, partied, and did things when we were underage and everything.
well, I was way underage. I was just a child in
Oh,
the,
yeah, that's right. That's right.
you were older because you're about 7 years older than me.
Yeah, sometimes seven, sometimes eight. That's funny.
Hi, Zoanne.
You,
A little wave for you.
Zoran?
Yeah, she's watching
Hello.
she's looking forward to hearing some cool things
Oh,
about the
you were
night.
in grade eight when I finished third year college.
No. Anyway, I didn't know you back in the 70s.
No.
But one of the things I was mentioning was about different toys, different trends that were happening, a lot of the things that was happening in the news at the time.
Yeah.
Watergate.
Mwah!
Oh, thank you.
I just threw out that 70s book, too. I can't believe it. Because it all fell apart in places. I
It was a
recycled.
it was a rock and roll book.
Yeah. There was Richard Nixon, probably the worst president that America has ever had, but he did get them out of Vietnam.
Yes. So, but what I remember as a child with Watergate was that it it was on television and all of the shows that were on were were canceled and they were showing the footage of
Yeah.
Watergate.
Watergate in the 70s was like the O.J. Simpson trial of the 2000s. No, of the 90s.
Yeah. I I don't think it was quite that same way because Watergate went on for a long time,
Long time.
a
Yeah.
very long time, and it was also kind of boring.
Yeah, I know.
It was very boring.
At least we knew Nixon was guilty.
Yes, but but that was the 70s though. But
Yeah.
but I remember in the early 70s, there was the first wave of skateboarding.
Oh yeah.
I didn't get into skateboarding till basically what I consider the second wave of skateboarding,
Yes.
which would have
Maybe
been
even the third wave, because I
yep.
remember in the 60s when I was a little kid, people were creating skateboards out of roller skates and just flat pieces of wood.
But I thought that was towards the late 60s.
Late 60s, that part. The
Yes, that
70s you're
that's
talking
yes,
about.
that's what I consider the first wave.
Okay.
And I considered that I got into skateboarding when it got to the what I consider the second wave, which was 1977,
Yeah.
1978, in that era to maybe 1980, maybe 81. Um, I considered that the second wave, and I think somewhere I may still have the skateboard, but
Yeah, that
what
would be neat. That was
yeah.
like, yeah.
So what other things from the 70s like
I remember head shops first came around in the 70s.
oh really? Well,
Yes, I remember.
I was too young to really
Yeah,
understand that.
yeah. I remember walking into a store with two of my friends, and one of them didn't believe me when I told him what vibrators were used for. He absolutely didn't believe me. So I told him, "Well, okay, watch this." And this was at a head shop, and so I took six vibrators that had batteries in them, lined them up on this glass counter, and I says, "Watch this." And I turned them all on at the same time, and on the counter, bah! And the person who ran the store goes, "Hey, what are you doing? Hey, get lost! Get out of my store!" And the vibrators start moving back and forth like that, and go, bah! Got thrown out of the store. And beside head shops, a lot of strange people that took a lot of strange things for entertainment. And this is something that I did not have back then. And I always wanted a pair of these psychedelic glasses. And you don't drive wearing these. They People just wore them when they were doing whatever they were doing. But as you notice, these glasses are something else.
They give you bug eyes.
Yeah, not only that, but they
You look like you have bug eyes.
bug eye yourself.
You-
Bug
now you're starting to sound like a duck. He's squawking.
eye. Like
N-
a chicken.
Yes, but
Tick, 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 tick.
no. But what were some of the other trends?
Oh,
Remember? Well, I remember because I was younger. So, as like when I was like 8, 9, and 10, there was pet rocks.
yeah.
And
Clackers, those things.
yes, but
Pet
uh,
rocks.
pet rocks. But you explain the pet rocks. They were rocks that were painted that you actually spent money to buy at the store.
A rock sitting in a box. And I think it was a fellow that I might have known lived on Stroud Avenue that commercialized that. Maybe. I'm not quite sure. I'd have to ask around.
Yeah. But then there was mood rings. And with the mood rings, they would change color to the temperature of your skin. You can still find them around.
Yeah, yeah.
You can still find them around. I
Niagara Falls, you find them all over Niagara
well,
Falls.
they're usually in a lot of the tourist trap places, but
Yeah.
still, you still can get them. But at the time, you had, excuse me, there were mood
Oh
shirt.
no! Oh no!
My
You coughed. The alarm's going off. Everybody dive! Oh, we're
yeah,
gonna die!
funny.
Seriously now.
Sorry, you made me cough again. Okay, so no, but there were the mood shirts
Yes, mood shirts with a
with
disc in the middle that
with a
would
big
change
round,
color.
and it changed color according to your mood. That was another trend. You know what else people did that was really, oh,
What?
they did a lot of macrame.
Oh yeah, that was neat stuff. I mean, your cat would enjoy it.
No, but macrame, they made these macrame planters. And it
Yeah, and
was
they hung them
and mothers would go to
macrame classes.
macrame classes.
Yeah,
And then, of course, they'd come home and they'd teach their kids how to do macrame. And then it got to the point where your schools were showing you how to make macrame.
I wish we had some of those pieces still.
And so that was good. But then you were mentioning another toy that was really a lot of fun, and those were the clackers. And to be honest, I wish I still had a pair.
They looked like those weapons that are used in the jungle called bolos. I think they're called bolos, and they're used to go hunting with. And when you throw them at an ostrich, it wraps around its
Yes,
neck.
but
But
that's
kids used to play with these.
I know, but because we don't have we have to explain it properly because what what a clacker is, if you could picture, say for instance, picture this as a full glass ball. Just the round part was a glass ball that was see-through, and you'd have two of them with a string that went up with a round kind of
With a ring to hold with.
a ring to hold it. And you would hold it and you would take the one glass ball and you would go like this, and it would go clack,
Clack,
clack.
up and
And
down.
then you want the whole idea is to keep it going. So you get the clack and you'd be clacking together, clack. So if you pull it down like this, it would go out and then bring it back in. And you would do it fast enough to make it so that then it goes top, bottom, clacking. But
Oh,
but what ended up happening, you remember what happened? It ended
see
up in
that
the
I had a
news.
dead insect in there.
Yes, but what ended up happening was that people actually the glass would break and people were getting glass in their
Mm.
eyes and stuff.
And get
Well, you may have had something
is
sort of
somebody
similar.
asking there?
So
Somebody.
you no, you may have had something similar, but in later years they did not make them out of solid glass, unless you had one when it was in the 70s.
And they
Because
stopped making them not only out of solid glass, but they also stopped having strings. They just had sticks attaching them, so that way,
yes, but
and you could get them at a dollar store.
no, it wasn't. We didn't have dollar stores in the 870s.
I saw them somewhere. Maybe the same place you bought yo-yos at the drugstore.
Yes, no, well, at the drugstore and at places like Byways,
I,
and at your
I
variety
yeah,
stores.
I bought my yo-yos at the variety store. I think
Exactly.
it was called Poper's Variety on Bowman Street,
Yeah,
right
but
by the railroad tracks in
yes, but
Hamilton.
those glass balls were like that, and I remember people just used to get it, and it clacked and clacked. Well, one of these times, what I'm going to do is try to find some footage and see if I can find some footage and maybe put it in later, add it in later because it was the best.
Oh
Everybody at
God,
school were clacking, clacking, clacking. Pieces of glass was busting off, flying all the way. But it ended up that that trend by 1975, those were all gone.
yeah,
They
yeah,
were gone.
and people
Like,
stopped using yo-yos too
because yes, but the
by that time.
yo-yos weren't hurting people, but the clackers were
Yeah,
hurting people.
yeah. Another trend was collection records from Ronco and from
From KTEL,
KTEL and Ronco. And this is another company here.
keep on rock, keep on rocking.
And read off some of the songs. I don't have my eyeglasses with me.
Um, People Gotta Be Free by the Rascals. Uh, I don't even know. Is this one of those disco ones?
No, but I do have a disco one somewhere.
You know, Eva Destruction, Barry Maguire.
That one there is a 70s collection of 60s hits. Look at this one. Look at this one.
Yes,
It's a disco collection.
yes, a disco collection. But you know,
Read off some of the songs on it.
yes, but this is one of those. This is a K-Tel one because that was something that was really big. No, this was not a K-Tel one, was
Well,
it?
I got KTEL ones downstairs, but I'm not going to run around and get them right now. This
No,
is close enough.
no, this was the K-Tel one. But that's some of the disco from back in the day.
Did you read off some of the songs?
I know, but they're
Read off some of the songs there.
Boogie Oogie Oogie. Oh, who did that one? Taste of Honey.
Yeah.
You Make Me Feel All Right by Karen Silver. Those are pretty good.
People people would buy instruction records. See? Let's disco, and you'd get a book that told you exactly how to do the dances.
There's the steps to the dances.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. Yeah.
Oh, cool. You had some of the new wave K-Tel. Yes, because there were some that were new wave K-Tel ones.
Yeah, yeah.
That's pretty cool. But so disco was one of those. It lasted a lot longer than people made it out to seem that it lasted because the disco was around for quite a few
Oh, look at
years.
this. Billy Joel, I love you just the way you are.
Yeah, but
Well, why are you taking these away from me?
no, because nobody can see that because it's so small, Mike.
What's so small?
No, I'm just
Oh, I get it.
the picture is just too
I thought
small.
you were talking about something else. But
No, but what else? Like when so there was like disco was on for quite a number of years.
mhm.
And I it did last long, but it died a big one. When it died big
Yeah.
because people did record burnings.
Yeah.
You know, they got stadiums together, like records together, and they would burn them, and radio stations would have big events burning the disco
Yeah.
records. Um, People really didn't like disco at the end, but I always liked it anyway.
It was all right. It was all right.
But I
I
mean,
I
that was also the time of progressive rock.
prog rock, yes.
Progressive
Yes,
rock.
and the real Genesis. And the real Genesis. Or if you weren't into prog rock, the early 70s,
That's from the disco. That's from.
that is from,
Why would you have this?
oh, what's this? Oh, the naloxone kit was just keeping this thing, keeping the shoe open. What?
Nothing.
This is from glam rock in England, glitter
That
rock.
would be circa 73, 72,
Yeah.
when a lot of people were wearing the platforms, um, glam rock stuff.
Yeah, if you're a Slade fan or a T-Rex fan, or you're a Kiss fan.
Susie Quattro?
Susie Quattro, yes.
Yes.
Yep, that was a good mention.
Yes, because
Susie Quattro was also on Happy Days.
yes, but she
As
was not known that much in America.
no, she was more
She
known
was
than that.
really, really, she was really big
She was
in.
also a member of a band called the Pleasure Seekers with her other two sisters, who is a singing group with five girls singing.
Oh, I don't know them.
I've never heard them. I just discovered this the other day.
Okay, so that's something for us to look
Yeah, the
into.
pleasure. I think they were called the Pleasure Seekers, and there was three Quattro sisters in the group, and there was five of them. I was in shock when I saw that.
Now, we also remember the other term that came about was the AOR records. album orientated rock. Would that was
The
I guess
album oriented rock. Yeah.
I consider that pretty much like the progressive rock,
Yeah, yeah,
pretty much, and that was like your Q107.
yeah. The late night where they would play like one side of an album. And there used to be a show called Night Music, and the guy would talk very quietly. Hey, where's our microphones?
You don't.
This
Well,
has a microphone?
why would you be? That's a stupid question. That's a very stupid question. No, but what else were trends? Because remember, I was a little kid, so I'm looking at things from an 8-year-old's perspective, 8, 9, 10, 11-year-old. Like, I did roller skating. I was into roller skating a lot, and I started roller skating 1976. That's
I tried roller skating, and there's a roller rink down here, and they allowed drinking at the roller rink.
oh,
Now,
really? But
yes.
I was just a kid, so
So, anyways, I go in there, and there's two of my friends who are very big smartasses. And Pamela,
yeah.
I didn't even have one drink. I just got my membership, and I got thrown out of the place because they thought I was drunk and I was acting up. But my two friends who were smartasses knew that I couldn't skate. When I got my roller skates on, I got into the bar, and they picked me up and put me on top of a table, and I could not move because I was so afraid of falling down because I didn't know how to skate. And I started yelling, "Somebody help me get down!" And the people working there said I was too drunk. I didn't even have one drink, and I got thrown out and got my membership revoked when I wasn't even
Was
in
that
there
at the Thunderbird?
at the Thunderbird Arena down
Yeah,
here.
because we used to have so many skating rinks, roller skating rinks here. Because I remember I used to go to the roundabout, and
So where was that one?
that was down at the east end of the city. And
Oh, oh, oh.
so I went to the roundabout, and but I'd been to the Thunderbird as well. Roller skating was really popular,
Yeah,
and
I know the first bass player in the Rebels, Carl. He was a roller skating instructor.
oh, really?
Yeah.
So that no, but that's pretty good because
Yep. Shows you what kind of guys we always were.
a disco roller skater.
Yeah, and I get thrown out of the place right off the bat, and I couldn't even get my good friend to stand up for me because he'd get thrown out.
And what
I
else?
still run into those guys that put me on the table. They didn't mean any harm, but they never realized I'd get thrown out and have my membership revoked. And I wasn't even a member for more than an hour.
Did they give you your money back?
No.
Oh, you really got ripped
I
off.
know, I know. I lost the whole $1.75.
It's only, but so no, all right. So that was something else that we did during the 70s. What else? You, what was big for you during the 70s? You discovered punk rock.
Yeah, well,
Well,
punk rock discovered me because I was listening to bands like Slade, Mott the Hoople, and the Stooges, and the MC5. And if they never called it punk rock, I would have still come up with a loud, noisy guitar and still made songs the same way. Maybe not as funny and as sarcastic. They would have been serious, but yeah. And what we created was a band, and then it became something called punk rock. And okay, so there.
my big thing from the 70s, like I remember being in grade 7 and hearing about punk rockers and stuff like that. But I already had seen in 73 when I was like 8, I had already seen people that were on that verge of the glam rock in
Yeah,
England because, my parents had taken
yeah,
us
and you
to
went to
England.
England there. But I
Yeah.
was listening to those English bands because I just liked them. But I liked them better than I liked the Canadian American bands happening at the time until we started having glam bands
Yeah,
and
but you
punk
know what
bands
was
here.
so great about the 70s was something else that was so great about it. There were radio stations were like hot on
Yeah,
fire. Radio stations were totally on fire. Like you had like the best stations,
yeah, that
CKLC
was
and
those pop stations were pretty good, but they never played the punk rock or
no,
the glam rock that was
yes, but
happening
like
in
through the
Europe.
70s was so amazing because
Yeah,
I mean,
I could still turn on the radio and hear Led Zeppelin on
yes, but
AM.
they had those charts.
Yeah, the
You could
CKLC charts and the
follow what
Chum
your
charts.
bands are doing, whether they're going climbing up the
And you
charts or
know what? If I
coming
could,
down the
and
charts.
I bet you
And
I could find the Chum charts downstairs somewhere.
yes, but there's also a thing that does not happen today with those charts. Those charts were made by the radio stations in conjunction with the record stores.
Yeah,
So what would happen is that the new chart would come out, it'd be a big deal
every week.
so that you would say Sunday night or whatever, you would listen
For the
to
top 40.
the top 40 for the that was for the week that just gone by. And that Monday, you can go to the record store to
Yeah.
pick up your chart for free. But that got you into the store, which meant people were buying records.
Yes, and on the chart there'd also be a section called chart bound, which chart bound meant they haven't played it on the station yet, and it's going to be played this coming week.
Oh, I don't remember that.
There's chart bound. That's what they would say on the radio.
Mm,
This chart bound, chart bound.
that was on CKLC, or was that
CKOC or
or Chum? Because they both
Shum,
had charts.
yeah,
CKLC and
Shum.
Chum. And did Q107 have charts eventually?
I
I think
I
they
didn't even know Q107 existed at that time.
I knew of them, but I didn't spend a lot of time
I
when I
wish
was
we
young.
had the BBC here because they actually played those. They actually played T Rex and Slade while.
But that was more common to them because England had this is where we went through a period because we don't really have it now either, which is fads. That was
Yeah,
something that still happened in
yeah, they had a culture.
yes, there were
This
fads
place
that
has
were
a this place had a cowboy culture, and over there they were trying. They
we
had
did not have a cowboy culture. Why would we have a cowboy culture? People were into disco. How
well,
does
yeah,
that? And people were into
it,
progressive rock.
it
People
would
were
be
into
easier
punk.
to yeah, it would be
You
easier
were a
here
cowboy. Why would you say cowboy?
because it was much easier to move Leonard Skinner than Led Zeppelin than it was to move say the Clash
Yes,
until
but
they got
those
really
people
big.
were not cowboys.
No, no, but it was more okay an American.
We America had their American
Yeah,
sound,
yeah,
and it sometimes would be harder for American sounds to break through in England,
yeah,
as well as it was harder for British bands
yeah.
to break through in Canada. But it did happen with quite a few bands.
Eventually, it happened.
Well, how did we get to hear Thin Lizzy?
Well, yeah, that's true.
Oh, I like them.
Yeah, they were good. They were good.
Yeah, Thin Lizzy. I really like Thin Lizzy. Oh my gosh. And oh my god.
Tonight there's gonna be a jailbreak. That was a good one.
Yeah, there were a lot of good bands back then. And there were great concerts. Remember they were at the stadium, the
Say,
Ivor Wynn
Ivor Wynn Stadium,
Stadium.
Pink Floyd, 1975 was it June 28th?
I don't remember the exact date.
Well, yeah, and at McMaster University, that's where I went to see Nazareth and Steppenwolf, and
But I saw Nazareth came and the Bee Gees came to a mall
Eastgate Square,
square
shopping
shopping
at
in
the
the
21st
21st
century.
century.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my gosh, I still remember that mall. My mother never let me go alone.
No.
But I was just a kid. I shouldn't. And Charity Brown, I beat you to the punch. What is that?
Beat you
You
to
to
the
the
punch.
punch.
Uh-uh.
Uh-uh. I don't know the
Then what's
words.
another one? It's all right and it's coming on. You gotta get it right back
Back
to
where
where
we
we started
started
from.
from.
Yeah, that
Love
was
is
Charity
in
Brown, wasn't it?
Yes. I mean,
Mm.
so that was when
And Crowbar at City Hall, right in front of City Hall on New Year's Eve.
I didn't go to that. I was just a little kid.
Yeah,
So
I
I
was a
was
little kid.
limited as to what I got to do.
I was a little kid when I sneaked out of the house to go see Crowbar there.
I was just a little kid, so we don't get to have things like that.
Mm.
But I remember uh, where we lived, we had what you call it, those the first place we lived in Canada, we had a party line. On
Party line. Oh yeah. I remember on the telephone what was happened to all you that don't know what a party line is. We sometimes your phone would ring a certain way and you don't pick it up when it rings that way because it's meant for another phone number.
Yes,
And sometimes you walk over and you pick up the phone and there's people talking on it already.
yeah.
Well, the funny thing is, I remember there was a party line on when I lived with my parents on Broadway Avenue, and I listened to the party line talking, and I recognized the guy's voice. It was the man that would walk the three Pekingese dogs down the road with his friend. So what I did was I took the phone and I started tapping on it. And the guy goes, "What's that noise? What's that noise?" And I kept tapping on it. And the other guy goes, "What do you mean, what's that noise? I don't hear anything." And as soon as they started talking again, I would start tapping. And the guy goes, "There it is again. What's that noise?" And I stopped. And the other guy goes, "I haven't heard it this time. I haven't heard it." And I did it again and again when they started talking. And the other guy goes, "I know what it is. It's the party line guy. You bastard, you bastard," he said to me. And I hung up, right? And then 2 weeks later, I see the guy. I'm over at my friend Bruno's house. That's about 5 blocks from home.
Mm-hmm.
And I see the guy walking his Pekingese dogs. And so I'm in Bruno's yard by the fence. And I go, "What's that noise? What's that noise?" Imitating the guy. And the guy's eyes bug out. He's got his dogs on the leashes. He's looking around. And he slowly starts looking, at the tree. And he looks at the garage and at the front. And so he starts walking and, "What's that noise? What's that noise?" And he looks around, stops. And I go, "You bastard, you bastard." And then the guy just takes off on his dogs really quickly. I realizing that there's somebody 5 blocks away that recognized his voice. So he must have thought that whoever was bugging him lived 5 blocks away from him.
But usually you know who's on the party line. But you know what? By 1975, I don't think there were any party lines left because we didn't have that party line for very long.
No, no,
That was like 1969 when we had the party line.
this was like 1971 or 72 when this one was happening.
Yeah. Like I know like we had a party line in 1969, but by the time we moved down to the East End, we didn't have a
No,
party
I
line
can still
again.
see that guy. "What's that noise? What's that noise?" And he's panicking, looking around, peeking these dogs and stuff like. And and then when I imitated the guy who was talking, his eyes bugged out and he just took off.
You guys got up to a lot of mischief.
Yeah, silly.
I would say it's mischievous.
Yeah, yeah,
Not necessarily bad, but just
just
mischievous.
silliness.
Um, but I remember having one of those box record players that,
Mhm.
with a handle and you could carry it and you could plug it in and play like your records singly. And
Yeah.
I still remember that. I wish I had that record player still.
Is there somebody asking questions?
No, she was just commenting on things. She
It's the
said,
same person. Either that or there's 7 people on there with the same first name.
No, she says she wish it were like those days. Like she
Yeah,
sort of
yeah.
misses that time.
Yeah,
It was a good time back
it
then.
was a great time. I
You
wish
know,
coffee was still 15 cents a cup.
and I remember we had our bicycles at the time,
Yeah, yeah.
and with the banana seats.
Yeah, yeah, Mustang bicycles with the
Yes.
three
Oh my
speeds.
gosh. I had my bike. I was so excited. I used to like, you you get one friend that would sit in the bars would go like this, sort of like.
Yes. Ape hangers, they were called.
Yeah, it went across and went down like this. So you would stick a person to sit on the front, and you could then, because of the banana seat, you could put somebody on the seat and you'd ride along on your bicycle like that.
Mine was gold metal flake.
Mine was purple. No, no, mine was not purple. I don't remember
I
what
I
color.
had a gold frame, but
Because
my banana
my
seat was
brother,
gold
my
metal
brother had
flake.
a purple bike, but I don't remember what color mine was. But I loved my bike.
Yeah. My friend Bruno wiped out on my bike. I wiped out on my bike.
And we'd follow the fire engines all over whenever you'd hear it. All the kids in the neighborhood would jump on their bicycles and
Yeah.
go follow the fire truck or the ambulance to see where it went. Well, you were older. I was
Yeah.
still a
We
kid.
did the we did the same thing, just at different times.
Hmm. But no, I had a good time as a child,
Yeah.
you know. And but we did do a lot of things. We were doing these things and we did not have our parents with us.
No.
We were wandering off to the park. That was the first thing on a Saturday morning. You'd wake up first thing, and you know your
You'd
parent.
watch some of the cartoons
Yes, and you'd
and
be
you'd go to the
lucky.
park after wrestling.
That's on
You used to
wrestling
wrestling
didn't
used
even come on until 11 o'clock or
to
noon in the
Yeah,
70s.
yeah.
But like I was a little kid, so I'd be out playing. We'd be out playing by 8 a.m. in
Yeah.
the morning,
Oh,
and
not me.
8:30. I was always up early,
Hmm.
but we'd be out playing, and you come in. I
Yeah.
remember Friday nights out playing on the street, and kids all played on the street.
Yeah.
Didn't matter what neighborhood or what level of neighborhood you lived in, whether it was rich, poor.
Yeah, a lot of kids played on the street.
Yes, we all played on the
The
streets.
infirmaries are full of them.
No, but we all played on the street, and I still remember Friday nights would be the fun night because, you know, usually your parents would tell you, like, especially in the summer, that when the street lights came on, that's when you had to get back in the house.
Mhm.
And but on Friday nights, we didn't wait for the street lights to come on in the summer. We were back in the house because we had to watch the lineup of television shows, you know, the Brady Bunch, the Partridge Family.
Gilligan's Island.
Well, I watched that in the daytime. You
Oh,
were you
that was
you you
reruns.
you watched. You probably watched
Hawaii
it.
Five O.
You watched it, but Friday night had the Sonny and Cher show. It was on at 8 o'clock,
Yeah,
and you'd start.
They had wrestling on at night too.
Did they?
Oh, wrestling was on Friday and Saturday. Depends on whether you're watching Buffalo, Vancouver, or Hamilton, Toronto, or Detroit. There's
Oh, I don't remember that. I know
they
that
had lots.
I knew there was wrestling like Saturday, like 11 o'clock, and it
Yeah,
was on for like ages.
it was on. They would show the Hamilton wrestling, Buffalo race wrestling, and Vancouver wrestling, and then at night one more time the Maple Leaf Toronto wrestling.
Mm.
And if you were lucky, you'd get Detroit as well.
See, that's the difference in our ages of what we would be watching,
Yeah,
because me, I was like Brady Bunch, Partridge Family, Sonny and Cher show. Oh,
yeah.
I remember this weird show that used to come on called Mary Hartman, Mary Hartman.
Oh yeah.
And now to find out that it was like one of those shows that was about a woman that was taking. um,
Addictions, Valium,
Valium, like a
Mandrax.
Valium. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's really weird. And like even soap, I never got and
yeah,
understood soap, but I was too young to really understand it.
yeah.
It was really messed up.
Harry Hartman. That was a show.
Yes,
Yeah,
and
it was.
I
They never directly said that it was about a woman who was taking prescription medication.
yes, but eventually that's what we figured out
Yeah,
later on.
because of her
Um,
actions.
exactly.
Louise Lasser. That was the name of the star.
Oh, really? Okay. I remember Room 222.
That was the '60s.
But it was on in the early 70s,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
The Flying Nun.
The Flying Nun was, I think, the '60s, but
Yes,
I'm
but it
not
was
sure.
on, and I saw it in, that's with Sally Field.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, I used to like that, because she used to always sing and
yeah. And
flying.
they would
It was in
always
the
get
early
the
70s.
casino owner in trouble. Remember him? His real name was Alejandro Rey. Alejandro Rey was his real name, and the character he played was a casino owner named Carlos Ramirez.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
Yeah, and then of course the worst show of all, MASH.
Well, a lot of people really liked that show. I mean, there's the odd episode that was fine, but that was about it. Like,
well, just
you
think.
know what?
Well, just think if this conflict keeps up in Korea and they start a war over there, a whole pile more episodes are MASH that can be filmed.
Yeah,
I know that's in poor taste.
yeah, yes,
What
that is in poor taste. But no, I didn't really care for MASH.
are you doing? You're hiding your head.
Yeah, well, I didn't really care. Did you like MASH?
No, no.
And but
I
then
I loved Hawaii Five O because the original Hawaii Five O shows you what a police force should be like.
no, those are good shows. But then there's Starsky and Hutch.
Cam Fong as Chin Ho, then Zulu as Kono. You know why they didn't put his last name on?
Mm,
Because there was so many letters in his last name that if they had even small letter, they couldn't fit his whole last name on the screen because there were so many letters in it.
what was his name?
I
Real?
don't know. I don't know what his real last name was. Well, you see the big Hawaiian guy, that was the tough cop, Zulu Ascono.
Mm.
So his last name was too long to put on, so they didn't bother giving him a last name in the show either.
Oh wow. Well, that's interesting. I
Yeah.
didn't know that. Well, did you watch Starsky and Hutch
No, I'm not very often.
with Huggy Bear?
Yeah, I remember the
I
remake of Starsky and Hutch and Snoop Dogg played Huggy Bear.
Oh no, I didn't watch the remake, and I
In the remake of Starsky and Hutch, you see two citizens walk by, and they're the original Starsky and Hutch, and they make comments about the car that they used to have, and there's the car that the new Starsky and Hutch had.
well, I used to watch Beretta.
Yeah,
There were a lot of good shows. Fantasy Island, Love Boat, The Love Boat.
Fantasy Island. Yeah, you hear Herb Villechaize went into Tim Hortons, and when they asked him what donut he wanted, he goes, "Dip plane, dip plane." Dip
Yes.
plane, dip plane.
No, but that was a good show though.
Yeah,
But I like Love Boat. Oh, you know what? There was another show that used to come on called Divorce American Style.
I don't remember that one.
It was very weird and corny. I was too young to really understand a lot of the content,
Mhm.
but I still kind of liked it. But it was Divorce American
Yeah,
Style, and it used to sometimes come on like in in the in the vein of Love Boat, Fantasy Island, Divorce American Style.
yeah, I don't remember that.
Yeah, like not too many people.
Then there was Love American Style. but I barely remember that one too.
Oh, maybe I got the title wrong.
It sounds like it
It's
would exist. Love American Style.
maybe
It was
that's.
like
I
it
thought
was
maybe
like
that
Love
may.
Boat, except it was in a city. It was in New
Maybe
York.
I'm mixing it up and I've got it
I
wrong.
really doubt it. I
Maybe
think that you got it right, and I
I'm
never saw the other one.
maybe I may have mixed that one up. But you know what? Wasn't that the time where people wanted waterbeds were becoming popular then, were they?
What?
People used to have weird shaped beds in the 70s that were
Yeah.
round, and then some people had water beds, and
Mm.
they were becoming popular.
Yeah, until they got a cat.
No, they didn't break that easily.
No, but they did. I know the air chairs and the air mattresses did, because I had one of those full of those expand those ones that you blew up like lounge chair, and I threw my cat on it, and then
It exploded.
and no, it didn't explode. The cat grabbed it and took off, like you know how a cat takes off, right?
Yeah.
And then the chair just went.
Did you have a beanbag chair
No.
or one of those? Uh, they had all these lamps that look like mushrooms. Okay, now I'm really sounded like real cracked. In the early
Um,
70s, they had these lamps.
lava lamps.
They were not, they weren't necessarily lava lamps. They had that shape like this,
Yes, I
but
know.
the
I know
top
exactly.
part was like a like a mushroom head.
And nobody's gonna get what we're talking about.
Unless you lived during the 70s, but we had our own unique things. Like some of that kind of styling, it was like the cheap version of the 60s stuff.
Yeah, and you got all the consumers distributing.
Or ShopRite.
I wonder, do these people remember that? I know I got a consumers distributing catalog downstairs.
Yes, that would be really neat. One of these times. ShopRite, I like.
Yeah,
Has anybody ever shopped at ShopRite or consumers distributing?
yeah.
I was a big
They
Sears person. I
yeah
really
they
liked my
they they
Sears.
sold fishing equipment at consumers distributing at a very good price.
Yeah, but remember a lot of the in the 70s, they still sold guns at a lot of.
Oh, they sold it at Frank's Outboard Marine up the road
Yeah, but
here.
didn't they still sell guns at Canadian Tire
Oh yeah, yeah. All
in the
you
70s?
didn't need a license.
In
You
the
just had the
70s?
money in the late '60s, early '70s.
And
You
then
could
that
get
went
a
away.
you can get a British Lee Enfield 303 for $29.
Oh, wow.
That's
And that
that.
was at Canadian Tire.
Yeah, and that's a perfect gun to use if you want to go moose hunting. It's a very heavy loaded gun.
Yeah.
$29. There's the one with the short barrel, and there's the one with the longer barrel.
Hmm. Well, that's cool.
Yeah, it was a British Lee Enfield and a 5-shot clip.
Yeah. Well, a lot of that stuff, as they've taken away a lot of stuff
Yeah.
from us, but I wish there was more roller skating again, though. I
Mm.
wish we had more roller skating.
Yeah.
Has anybody ever roller skated?
I'll go
Gone,
downstairs and see if I can find something to show them. No? Okay, another time then.
yeah, because you know what? I do have something from the well, this may not be quite the 70s. Yeah, it might be a bit. I have one of these, but that would be more late 70s because it's got push tones of
Yeah.
the 80s. Hello? Is anyone there? Hello?
Hey, is your refrigerator running? It is? Well, you better go catch it.
Oh my gosh, we used to do
I
that.
used to do that all the time. I used to phone somebody and go,
Oh, where do they?
"Hello, George, Mr. George Smith. Is this you? Well, this is Roy Stanley calling from CHML Radio. And if you could answer the following question, then you've won a prize chosen especially for you. And the question is, and you have 30 seconds to answer it. What is the date on the top of today's Spectator? Yes, you can ask your wife to go look for the paper. Yes. Oh my, your time is up. I'm sorry. You could have won $500 if you told us that. The date on today's Spectator is today's date. Yes, March 17th, 1971. And I'm sorry you did not win $500. But we will send you a month's supply of Mallow Cup candy. Thank you.
Where do your friends go skating?
Somebody here is talking about skating.
Yes, a lot of their friends apparently are getting back into roller skating.
Hmm.
Maybe there's a place that they go skating. I'd like to know. It would be really, you know, that would be fun to meet up. Oh, Mississauga has roller skating still out at the Roller World. No, Roller World, Roller Palace, um, South Down Road. What are you doing? What are you doing? What? Oh, out on the street, a we just got a roller skating rink here. Oh, where's that?
It's the same person all the time.
Yeah.
Get your friends. Phone your friends. Tell them to look us up.
Yeah. I like skating. You can still get some really nice. Oh, wow. I've been to Thunder Bay.
I've
No, I've been to Thunder
been
Bay.
to Thunder Bay.
You've played there.
I played there, yeah.
Oh, wow. Well, that's exciting.
Hello, we're the Forgotten Rebels, and we are proud to be here in Thunder Bay. We
Do
are Jacques, Suzette, Henri, and Marie Claire.
oh, do you have much snow there yet? Up in Thunder Bay?
Thunder Bay.
Thunder Bay.
Oh, you don't respect my accent. I come from Thunder Bay, anyways.
Oh my, that's a nice place up there. Because I've been through there in the summertime. I've never done it in the winter.
I've been there in the wintertime.
Oh no. They just had a blizzard yesterday. Oh my goodness. I hope you're staying warm as best as possible. Oh my goodness. That's rough. That's rough when the power goes out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh yeah, that's rough. Yeah. Stay warm. Stay warm. Lots of hot chocolate. Anyway, so what
What
else
else? What?
do you remember about the 70s that brings back good fond memories?
Cigarettes were 52 cents a pack. Coffee was 15 cents a cup to 20 cents a cup. Um,
Bags of chips are 25 cents.
yeah.
I remember that because
Yeah. And the same
and there was such
bag
a
of
thing as
chips.
penny candy that was still a penny.
Yes, yes.
Or sometimes you get 10
And the
candies for a
chips,
penny.
yes. And the chips you talked about that were 20 cents. Well, in the early 60s, they were 15 cents because the other chips were a dime and 5 cents. And then the big bags were 29 cents.
Oh my gosh.
I remember that. And
Oh.
I remember getting it at the corner of Hess and King, that variety store. I wonder if it's still a variety store.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
It
And
still is
a
there.
couple of buildings going east on the same side was Castle's grocery store, spelled Castle with a K, and they also sold um, barbecue chips in a clear orange bag.
Really?
Yes, 5 cents a bag, and the bag was like this. Well, I was a little kid, so I
Oh, was it a brand name or what?
Yes. And
Oh,
I don't remember what it was,
oh wow.
but it still exists as far as I know, but not the same way. It used to be a crunchy plastic bag.
Well, I knew when I was a kid that you could get a pop, a chips, and a chocolate bar for less than 50 cents.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes, and that was exciting,
yeah.
you know, to think that your parents could give you like 50 cents because nobody's parent gave them a dollar to go to the corner store.
No, no, because
Nobody gave you
for a dollar you can get a
you
pack.
buy stuff for all your friends with a dollar.
I for a dollar I would get a pack of cigarettes, 3 coffees, and a donut.
Oh, but that was in the 60s, right?
70s,
Early 70s.
early.
Yeah, well, I'm more towards the late
Oh,
70s where the
yeah,
prices were going up.
yeah. The prices went way up.
Yes. And to think that,
Actually, no. For a dollar, all you could get is 1 pack of cigarettes and 1 coffee.
mm, okay,
Yeah.
yes. Well, I think that's about it for the 70s. Um, unless we gather together a few more props that we find about the place from the 70s, and
Hmm.
maybe we can bring them and do them on
Yeah, on
another
another
effort.
broadcast.
Yes, another episode. But we might move on to another decade.
Well,
That
we
could
can bring stuff from various.
yes. So I'd like to tell everybody thank you for tuning in.
Yes,
If you have any questions, put them in the comments below.
I'd like to thank my fellow Americans and Canadian viewing audience for allowing us into their homes via TV. As usual, Pam, you've done a terrific job interviewing me.
You're
Now, now, come on, everybody, subscribe.
thank you, and we will see you again on our next stream. Thank you.